Good morning. Welcome. I'm looking out my window. It's nice out. I hope everyone's having an autumnal morning. I have been away, but now I am not away. I took the weekend off for my birthday, which I had a lot of fun with. I'll talk more about it in a bit, but just in general, I took off for my birthday, and the weekend after was Furpoc, where I also had a lot of fun. Was my third year at Furpoc that I am thoroughly enjoying. I've always liked working conventions, and Furpoc has always been fun. Everyone's so nice. That's the thing that I like about furries, that everyone is so nice. And one of the things that I have discovered from my years of working various conventions, okay? My consensus is that anime conventions smell worse than furry conventions. And I feel like people don't believe me when I say this, but you must trust me. Because I feel like furries get such a bad rep. I'm like, I don't know, man. I at this point in my life, I don't fully understand the hate. Personally, I don't really like super duper understand it, but I view it as kind of like, I don't have to be into everything. I don't have to like really deeply understand every single thing. But I think there's like nothing wrong with people liking things, especially people with like unconventional interests. As someone who also has unconventional interests, albeit not like being a furry, but I don't know, man. I've never really had. I used to be one of those people that had a lot of beef. Not a lot of beef, but like really looked down. Why is my lighting crazy? See if I can fix that. Just fix. Makes me look kind of. Okay, I think we're doing better. I'll turn on my external, my natural lighting is pretty nice right now. It's very nice and sunny out. And so, I don't know, I used to be one of those people that like followed the colloquial train of thought, which is furries bad because they're weird and I don't understand it. But man, why? There's no reason to be like that. But anyway, I think it has something to do with the fact that they've kind of been like a collective internet, like a punching bag, that I feel like they're just so nice. And I always have a really good time at them. But I know I had a lot of fun at Furpoc. I ran a lot of fun demos this year. I ran Blades in the Dark, which I did last year, and also Wanderhome, which actually I don't know if I ran Wanderhome last year. I know it was run last year, but I don't remember if I was the one who ran Wanderhome last year. I feel like I was, but I also might not have been. I think I also did run Root RPG, which was not run this year, at least not by me. There was like a whole Root thing going on, but that was not my doing. But I got to run Blades in the Dark, which I've run before, which I adore. I got to run Wanderhome, which I also adore. And I got to run Call of Cthulhu, which I was very happy about. Call of Cthulhu is like one of those games to me that's kind of been like, I've known about it for a long time, and I've been wanting to run Call of Cthulhu for so long. I have so many thoughts, ideas, everything brewing in regards to Call of Cthulhu. I forgot. I should probably set my don't hear Discord notification sound. Probably a good idea on my part. The little, I hope you guys could hear the little click of my, I have noise suppression on. I have noise suppression, I have noise gating, so that you don't hear too many of my little, like, there's so many sounds in Gunpla building. There's like all the little clipper sounds and all of that, and I'm like, I don't think people want to, I don't want this to be an ASMR stream. I really don't. And so I have a bunch of noise gating and stuff on, but I don't like, I try and adjust it so that only certain things come through. I hope my phone clip. I love my, oh, I can't believe I didn't even show off my the newest addition to my phone. Please don't turn on, but like I always have, like, I've always liked having my little phone charm. And lately my current phone charm is a little Haro. Look at that! I have a little Haro charm on my phone now. It's very cute and it makes me happy. I have, like, whenever I go to conventions or I'm like shopping for merch, oh my god, I'm trying so hard. This is a very reflective circle. But whenever I go to like conventions or see like merch online, if it's like tiny little phone strap charms like this, I will want to hit purchase because I love like swapping out my phone charm. Like, it's so fun. It's so fun. I'm still mourning the loss of my OG Shinji because I just, like, literally it got lost and I'm still sad about it. But then I replaced it with a different charm, and now the current charm is this little Haro, which I love. I've had a couple people recognize it actually when I've been like out and about. I've had a couple people recognize my little Haro charm because Shinji was a little bit less recognizable because he was like very chibi fruit, as I like to call him, fruit gummified. And also he's just like a guy with like a white shirt and black pants. So his design is not like turbo unique, especially when abstracted like that. And the charm that I replaced it with was charm that I replaced it with was a VTuber that is not like super, well, she's like fairly popular. Not like insanely popular. People recognize, like, the average person will recognize her design at a glance, as a little chibi version. But the little Haro is like very simple, very fun. Like, it's such a good like little mascot. I love the little Haro. The little Haro charm has been great because people actually do like recognize my little Haro, and it's like, oh my god, is that from like Gundam? And I'm like, it sure is. And it makes me happy, and people like, that's why I like having things like this. I like having merch stuff. Just like, I'm still like not a fan of super obvious merch. I'm not exactly a graphic t-shirt kind of person. I don't wear a lot of like graphic tees and whatnot and stuff like that, or just like very out loud merch. But the like kind of low-key merch, like my little phone charm or something like that, that like if you recognize it, you'll know what it is. Like, that's my favorite kind of merch. Like stuff that I use and stuff Like, it's a tie between, like, practical merch. Like, I love practical merch. Like, stuff that I actually will want to use on a daily basis. Like, one of my favorite pieces of merch is, like, a glasses cleaning cloth that I got. Because I use it all the time. And it also came with, like, a little pouch that I literally use as, like, my makeup bag, as, like, a makeup bag. It's so useful. And it's, like, I'm really glad that that's, like, and it's not, like, super obvious. Like, the little glasses cleaning cloth is styled to look like a handkerchief with, like, the VTuber, with, like, a VTuber's initials on it. Like, a flower that represents them. And I thought it was really cute. And it's, like, it looks just like a normal cloth or handkerchief, but it's actually secretly VTuber merch. Same with my makeup pouch. It looks just like a normal little bag. It even has a strap if I want to wear it as a purse, which is like so fun. But it just has like their logo, the like abstract logo on it. Which is pretty neat. And it's like, if you recognize it, that means you're also a VTuber fan. What does that symbol mean? I kind of forgot what this symbol means. Let me go back and figure out what that symbol means. Or I make a mistake. Be careful. Oh, it means be careful. Yeah. I'm always careful. I'm always careful. Oh, EA. I was like, I don't see it here. Fire the EA runner. Where is the little C? EA runner, excellent. There we go. There's only one of them, which is why it wants me to be careful. But yeah, I probably should have mentioned earlier what I'm actually making. MechatroWeGo Shinji is a kit that I started a little bit ago. I've never built a Mechatro kit before. This is my first. And I've been working on Shinji for a little bit. All that's really left to do is to finish like the main chunk of his body, which I hope won't take too long. I really want to get that done today. And I'm hoping you. Let me. I'm in a little set. We can. Let's go. And that it didn't freak out with the lighting. Like right out. Yeah, I forgot. I was talking about Call of Cthulhu. I got to run Call of Cthulhu. I ran a one-shot, and I had a lot of fun. I ran one of the pre-gen one-shots because I've literally never played or run Call of Cthulhu in my life. And usually, I am a fan of reinventing the wheel. Like, I'm really not the biggest fan of, like, pre-made materials and pre-made lore and all that stuff, but I can let it slide for Call of Cthulhu because I don't want to say unfortunately, I am a fan of H.P. Lovecraft's writing. I guess it's unfortunate that he was a violent racist, but can't win them all. That's a terrible way of me saying it. But it's kind of true. You can't win them all. Oh, this guy. That comes together like this. My hands are so ashy and dry. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if it looks like this at all on camera. Maybe it's just like me being a freak. But I'm like very obsessive about these things. I'm a big being moisturized fan. Big fan of being moisturized. Because it feels nice, and it bothers me when my skin's dry. So I am like a frequent. I always keep like hand cream in my bag. I like use lotion every day because it bothers me when my skin's dry, and I feel like I'm very sensitive to it, especially now that it's getting colder. Well, colder in the sense that it doesn't just spontaneously be 80 degrees in November, but I will choose not to dwell on it because I know it's definitely a sign of impending environmental disaster. We're gonna put this on our hard surface. Kind of like not pry it together. Well, so I can like press it together a bit better. But I think that is good. This guy, it's this little turn that goes in here. I didn't press it together enough. How do I press? There we go. Oh wait. Lie down. Get this guy in there. It's his little Unit 01 horn. That's so fun. I love Unit 01's little horn. It's a good design feature. I feel like it's kind of funny. You can definitely see the impact of my favorite mech show being Evangelion upon my preference in mech designs. I always like my favorite mechs. I very much gravitate towards the ones that are like that. I don't know how to describe it. Like have organic features, but in like a very uncanny valley way. I think the easiest way to describe it is I just love mechs that look freaky. I'm a big fan of the robots that just like look insane. That look kind of creepy and just like, ooh, I don't like that. I like when they're kind of gives you a little bit of gives you an unsettling feeling. Those are my favorites. And I feel like it's very much influenced by the fact that I love Neon Genesis Evangelion because obviously a big part of the Eva mech designs is that they have this like weird organicness to them because they are technically organic creatures. Not technically, they are, well, not sorry but for the Evangelion spoilers, but they're organic creatures that have like armor and mechanics attached to them. But the base of them are like, they are a creature that has like flesh and blood. Okay. Interior assembly. Where did I just put the... I was literally like just putting it. Here we go. Now this is a bunch of little pieces that come together, which I think I can manage. This guy's like funky and... But I had a good time running Call of Cthulhu, and it makes me really want to run a campaign in Call of Cthulhu now. I already like... The problem with me and Call of Cthulhu, though, is that I've been wanting to run it for a long time, but I just, like, have not had people to rope into playing it with me. Like, none of my friends, but, like, I never was able to, like, gather my tabletop friends that are, like, willing to play non-D&D with me to play Call of Cthulhu. Because, to be fair, Call of Cthulhu is kind of crazy when it comes to mechanics. Very granular, and it got kind of a learning curve. Like, even I struggled a bit when I was running the one-shot, and I used like a pre-made scenario. Yeah. I'm still very, not to say, I'm very prejudiced against, I am indeed quite prejudiced against, like, pre-made material, but But I do think it's like a good learning resource. Like I'm stubborn, but I will still use like a pre-made scenario when I'm like, I still have yet to really learn. Like, I have never played Call of Cthulhu before, and I'm trying to DM it, you know? All I have is that I've read the manual, I've read the Keeper's Guide, I haven't even read the Investigator's Guide, which I really should do one of these. I've only read the, like, because again, that's the kind of game that Call of Cthulhu is, where you have, like, a whole rulebook for GMs, which is, like, the main rulebook, but then there's, like, a whole other supplementary rulebook for players, which I think is a really good concept, actually. But also, is like, damn, so much out there about Call of Cthulhu. And it's like, hello, sometimes you're a college student broke on time who wants to use the pre-made scenario to make people battle as maids. Okay, yeah. No, I get it though. Like, I do understand the practical usage of pre-made scenarios. I'm just really stubborn and I love reinventing, like, I love making my life harder for no reason. But, like, I fully understand what their function is. And, like, how sometimes you just want to you're just, like, a struggling college student that wants to make people battle as maids, which was really fun, by the way. I still had a lot of fun with that. Speaking of, like, anime TTRPGs, I love Fabula Ultima, and I still want to run it. I feel so bad. I've been trying to write this Fabula Ultima campaign for a long time, and I just, like, have yet to finish it. I've just been trying so hard, and I just have not finished it. I really want to. I think the other thing is that, oh yeah, by the way, fun fact, I'll be moving in like a month. I know you, yeah. You're so real though, because me too. I love writing my own world. I love writing my own worlds. Like, I've been playing D&D for literally a decade at this point, and I've been DMing it for like 8 years at this point. And you could ask me like the most basic thing about D&D, like the actual lore, I probably could not answer. I mean, I know a little bit. I'm not like completely clueless, but I like really do not pay attention to D&D's actual lore, because just I love writing my own stuff for it. I love most games, honestly. I like writing my own worlds. I love going crazy on the world building. But, oh yeah. I know that you guys have only seen my current... You know, it actually might not change from this point of view, because I'll be taking this mat with me. And also this exact table. Because I love this table a lot. It's like the perfect size. It's like optimized for my streaming stuff. It's great. I love my setup. But my location will be changing. I'm moving in a month. And it's something I'm actually looking forward to. Something I'm actually quite looking forward to. Into a new phase of my life. Minimum on the flowers and details of making flower crowns. You're so real though. I like genuinely, I've written a fake history book. I've written like fake history texts for my Lancer campaign. Like, and no one's even read them. Like, the people who play my Lancer games, it's the kind of stuff that like it's not like I wrote it for session material. I wrote it just to have. Good morning. But, yeah, no, like, I am totally with you on the world building. And so I'm a big fan of reinventing the wheel and making my life hard when it comes to tabletop games. I very rarely will use like pre-made materials and stuff because I love making things complicated, and I think it's more fun to play that way. I think I just have like I don't like being told what to do. It's very much I don't like being told what to do, and also I'm a huge control freak. And thus, I like do not want to be like, why do I have to care about like the lore too much? I don't know, man. I just like world building. I think it's also just I like world building. But now that I've like played a game of Call of Cthulhu, where, well, the other thing is that I also do just like the novel Call of Cthulhu, and I like the lore of H.P. Lovecraft. I'm like, okay, I think I can actually get behind this. But I think Call of Cthulhu also does afford you like a lot of freedom too. Surprisingly enough, even though they're based off of like real novels, either God of Your Domain, yeah. Even though they're based off of like real novels, I feel like they actually afford you quite a bit of freedom. Either way, like, yeah, anyway, now that I've run a one-shot in Call of Cthulhu, you'd think that I would be satisfied. I'm not. Now I just really, I probably should have expected this, but now I just really want to run a campaign of Cthulhu. I'm like, I couldn't even get people together to really play a one-shot with me. Why do I think I could find people to play in a campaign with me for Call of Cthulhu? But I'm hoping that after I move, for real, I'll get you into Intercon. Yeah. No, like, you don't need, that's not going to take a lot of convincing. I promise you. I'm very much like a lifetime GM. I have my campaigns that I'm a player in. Well, campaign, really, that I'm a player in. Right? And I like it. I do like being a player occasionally, but I'm very much more of someone who enjoys GMing. Like, I promise you, it'll not take me that much convincing. No, I really want to go to Intercon with you, and I think it'll be fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm honestly surprised that it, like, has taken me this long to get into, like, proper LARPing. Because I'm very much the type of person that would like to LARP. I don't know. I love, like, tabletop stuff. I'm like, I love the roleplay aspect of it. You know, I don't play tabletop games to be like, okay, and then I trick out my fighter so that I get plus 16 on hit with my lightning sword. Like, that's not the kind of player I am. The kind of player I am is I love weaving complex dramatic stories and acting them out. I also, man, my current D&D character that I've been playing in a campaign with some of my friends, it's like kind of the one place where I'm like a player. And I'm like, that character was like low-key, high-key based off of Marcial from Dungeon Meshi. Was very, very inspired. Like, not that it was just like a straight rip of Marcial, but they were definitely, you can see the inspiration for Marcial, from Marcial in my character. And my DM in that game recently started watching Dungeon Meshi, and they're like, "Is your character based off of Marcial?" And I was like, "Oh man." Yeah, based off of Opportunity. Yeah, which is fair, which is, I think, a good thing. I still think that's like really cool though that you got to do that. But yeah, I do think it's very much an opportunity thing. Like, even when it comes to tabletop stuff in general, it was literally like I got scouted out when I was in high school. I was in like 10th grade, and one of my friends, she was in the tabletop club, and she was tired of being the only girl in the party. And so she invited me too, and I just got roped into it, and then I got really into it. And that's how I got into tabletop games. That's how I got into like TTRPGs, D&D, because of like a friend who asked me to join on a whim, and I joined on like a whim basically. And so I just like ended up. That's just how I like ended up playing D&D, and it was just like opportunity, right place, right time, that got me into it. So I did get that, and now it's like one of my primary interests, which I still have 10 years later, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. Neat. I got into, well, I feel like, I think I still would have gotten into Gundam regardless. Like, when I was in college, the way I got into, like, model kits, like Gunpla itself, the anime, I would have gotten into it I feel like I would have gotten into the Gundam anime regardless. But I think when it comes to, like, I don't know, that's why I say that I'm like, if I got into Gunpla kind of by chance. Like, I had a neighbor in college who was really, really into Gunpla, and I kind of just, like, watched them do it a lot, to the point where sometimes, because they were someone who did, like a lot of customization stuff, did a lot of, like, custom builds and, like, stuff like that, and sometimes would need to have, like, just several built of, like, the same basic kit, and so sometimes they would just, like, outsource it to me. They would ask me to do, like, some of the basic builds for them that they would just need, like, several of. That they've already built, like, several times. They're like, I just need this kit built so I can customize it or use the parts for something or something like that. And so I was like, okay. And that's really how I got into Gunpla. Like, I think that was, like, my big introduction to Gunpla, but I think even if it hadn't been for that person, I still would have gotten into it one way or another. Okay. I think I still would have gotten into it one way or another. Just because that wasn't the only, like, connection I had to Gunpla. I think I would have gotten into it at some point. Because I like robots. Like, that always would have convened. I've always liked robots. I've always liked making robots. I did robotics when I was in high school. I've always been a fan of, like, mecha anime. I feel like I would have been a Gunpla fan. Like, regardless of what got me into it. I have, like, a similar feeling with tabletop games, but I'm also like, I don't know, man. I think I probably would have also come in. I got introduced to it by someone in my life, but I think it also would have been quite possible for me to just, like, happen upon it myself as well. So, who knows? Who knows where life may have taken me? But, I don't know. I also, there's a person when I was in college that was into LARPing. And I knew that, and I was, like, vaguely interested, but I never, like, knew them well enough to really get into it with them. Like, I wasn't, they were, like a class acquaintance. They're not someone I was, like, actively friends. I ever ended up becoming actively friends with. Funny story, I actually, this person was someone who's, like, I have to preface this by saying this person was an older student. Like, they were in their, like, probably in their mid to late 30s. Like, I would say more mid 30s. If I had to guess, they're, like, mid 30s, but they're definitely, like, an older student, like, someone older than the average, like, college demographic. But I recall one time I was taking the train to school when I lived in Manhattan. I was taking the train to school, and I saw them, my classmate. I was like, oh, I know them. They're my classmate. We're all both on the train to school, which makes a lot of sense. And I saw them with one of my professors. Not a professor that we had a shared class for, but with one of my other professors. It was with my speech and language professor, who is a woman in her 30s. When I saw them together, and then I saw that they both had wedding rings. Like, I knew that each of them were like, I assumed that, like, you know, that they were married, but I then found out via this interaction that they are, in fact, married to each other. And I was like, oh my god. That's crazy. I don't know if I hope he didn't take her class. That would have been very weird. But I don't think, he wasn't in the class that I had with her. But I just remember that being, like, so jarring. I was like, my classmate is married to my professor. Which sounds very salacious. But it's not as salacious as you think. Like, they're both in their 30s. Not like some crazy power dynamic thing. At least I hope it wasn't. They looked to be about the same age. And I assumed they were married before he started going to college at our school. But I was just like, oh my god. But anyhow, I was only ever, like, acquaintances with this person. I never, like, was really friends with them, but I knew they did LARPing. Remember, they did, like, a speech about it in our speech class. And I was like, wait, that's actually kind of cool. That's, like, the way they talked about it. It was very, like, they're very passionate about it, and it was actually very interesting. Taking advantage of family discounts or something? Yeah, probably. I do not blame them if they got, like, a friends and family discount on college classes. If I could get a friends and family discount on college classes, I totally would have. But I just think it's kind of funny to be like, oh my god, I found out one of my classmates is actually married to my professor. But it's really less dramatic than I'm making it out to be. We were not in the class with that exact professor. And also, my classmate was in their 30s, and so was the professor. I just remember being kind of wild in my brain where I was like, God, I know both of those. It's always like, I always thought it was kind of fun to run into people that I know while I'm taking the train randomly. I'm like, oh my god, we're going to the same place, or I know you. It's always been fun. But sometimes, again, this is when I was a significantly more awkward person in my life. But I think I also just didn't know how to handle it sometimes. Where's the camera? That's A. That's EA, which I've already used. Where did I put it? It's this one. Funky one. But that's me talking tabletop stuff. You know what I've been obsessed with lately? I've developed a new obsession. It's gotten pretty bad. That I've just been spending hours upon hours doing whenever I have, like, free time. Is I've been playing Fields of Mistria. I got into Fields of Mistria. It's really cute. It's really good. I will say it's not exactly the most, like, novel game conceptually. Like, there's a lot of aspects of it that I play it and I'm like, oh, I can very clearly tell, like, this concept or this mechanic was ripped directly from, like, Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing or Rune Factory, but I'm not mad. because I like all of those games, and it takes like things. It's like a game that I really like because it just takes like aspects of all those games that I like and kind of molds them into one, right? Like, I've always liked the fishing mechanic of Animal Crossing more than the fishing mechanic of Stardew Valley. Do you know how the fishing mechanic works in this game? Like the Animal Crossing one, which I like more. Like, it's got the whole mines and all of that, like Stardew Valley. It's got the, like, marriageable townspeople, like Stardew Valley, and also Rune Factory. Rune Factory does that too. The Rune Factory, like, but it does have kind of like a more Rune Factory-esque flavor. It's a lot more like fantasy, but not as fantasy as Rune Factory. It's not as like high fantasy as Rune Factory. Rune Factory straight up has characters that are like monsters, that are like magical creatures, and is very like, I am a knight. Like, there's a character who's a knight, and there's a character who's like a magician, like who's like a mage. Like, it's very like fantasy. But Fields of Mistria, while Stardew Valley is very grounded, it's a lot more grounded. I would say Fields of Mistria is somewhere in the middle. Like, there is fantasy, like there is magic, but and it is like fantasy flavored. It looks kind of funky and mystical, like aesthetically, but it's not as like high fantasy as Rune Factory is. But I quite like both of them. I don't know, man. I just think it's really neat. I know that it's been like it's a little bit like, why are you playing this game? You've literally already played this game before. But you have to understand that I love farming sims. I love farming sims. I love this genre of game, and having another one I like it. Especially because it's very pretty, it's very aesthetically pretty. All the characters are really good, to the point where, you know, I still haven't even decided who I'm going to marry in my first run yet, okay? Like, when I played Stardew, I felt I was a little bit torn in the beginning, but I like understood. I really should get you Sunhaven. I want to play Sunhaven. I've been wanting to play Sunhaven. Well, it was in beta. Okay. I will say I'm still in the midst of my Mistria addiction. So it will be a minute until I get around to Sunhaven, but I have heard of Sunhaven and I have been wanting to play it. It's probably on my Steam wishlist, honestly. Because I think it's cool. There's the runner. But I have been in the grip. I have been in the grip of my. This is the G. Not the D. I was like, this doesn't feel right. Yeah, they'll add more updates. Yeah, Mistria 2 is, I believe, still in beta. I think that because this is the early access version of the game. And it will, like, become more, though it's already in, like, a pretty good state. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with it. But there is one character that I'm like, okay, I really like this character. I really like this character, and I feel like I 100% would have gone for them. But the thing is, they're not one of the marriage candidates in this version of the game. The devs have mentioned that they plan on making this character a love interest later, but he's not right now. That makes me sad, because he's like the cute blacksmith himbo, and I'm like, oh, man, how can I not like him? But they're cruel, and he's not romanceable yet. In this iteration of the game. Man, it's tragic. It's so tragic. He's like the cute blacksmith himbo. He's the brother. His brother is one of the in Unobtainable Love, yeah. His brother is one of the love interests, but he's like the Sun love interest, so he's just like really mean to you. His brother is one of the love interests, but he's like the one that's just really mean to you. And I love his character, but I like want to be friends with that character. Like I want my character to be friends with that character. Like I love like teasing him and just like picking the dialogue options that that will like kind of provoke him because it's fun. Not in like a malicious way, but just like I don't know, man. I don't want to marry someone who's just. I say that, okay, I was about to say I don't want to marry someone who's mean to me, but I say that when, as if I didn't, like, frame one marry Shane in Stardew Valley. Listen, it's different because it's not. I feel like if I were to explain, I just realized that if I were to explain why I immediately went for Shane in Stardew Valley, that would make me look worse. That would make me look worse. So, well, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna save what little face I have. And that totally fell off. I know that this thing just, like, exploded. Okay. I know that this thing just... So we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. Going to put it back on there. That's one of the things I'm running into now with this kit, is that some of these little, like, circle guys, like, pop out so easily. Because there's not really, like, much holding them in the first place. It's like a rim that this snaps into. But the little, like, clearance to have it snap in there is, like, really small. So it pops out super easily. And it's a little bit annoying. I will not lie. It's a little annoying that if I, like, press on this a little bit, this whole thing just comes out. Because the little pegs that actually keep it in place, or the little lip that, like, holds it in, is just, like, so easily. It's just so small. I'm like, find it this way. Please. Didn't have to do it this way. But they did. It makes me want to glue it. I don't want to glue it. I don't want to have to bust out the glue. But honestly, I might have to bust out the glue for some of these little round guys because they just like... I press a little and it comes out. See, like, I press it a little bit and the whole thing just comes out. And I'm like, what the heck? That's like one of the few gripes I've had with this kit thus far. That I've discovered as of right now, basically. A little annoying. I'm like, I don't think there's a fix for this. Because I'm like, am I just snapping this in wrong? Like, what's happening? And it's just like, no, the little thing that it's supposed to snap into is just not very big. And thus doesn't provide a lot of support to actually keep it in place. A little annoying. But honestly, I might just like want to glue some of these. I don't want to glue them because it's a model kit. I like doing it genuinely, but I like doing it in earnest, giving my honest opinion on it, but just for the sake of Shinji's longevity, I probably will glue some of these bits later on when I'm in the more final phases of it. I'm gonna zoom back. I forgot I zoomed out earlier to remind it. Because I know this little thing is supposed to swing open, but the actual thing that I know part of why it's like is this little top hatch is supposed to swing open. Okay, it's got the little hinge, you can tell, but the like the clearance is too small. So no, I think we're good now. I think we've gotten it. I think this is about as good as that's gonna get. Just hope that none of these little arm circles, these little circles, same thing. The actual lip that holds them in is so thin. And it's to the point where it's just like a little bit annoying. That if I like just press it wrong or if I just like move it a little bit, it just like pops out. And so it's a little annoying, but yes, it could be worse. Like, it's not catastrophic. It's just like a little bit bothersome. Like this just comes out. There's not really much holding it in place because the actual lip that it's supposed to snap into is very small. which I've said like 16 times now, but my point still stands. So some of these bits you might want to glue. You don't have to glue them. Like the kit obviously is still like a model kit that doesn't require, it doesn't say that I need to glue anything. It's not supposed to need to be glued, but I would advise it, in my opinion. I would advise a little bit of glue. Because kind of needs it. Not needs it, but just like for the sake of longevity. Kind of unstable without it. Because like, at least while you're building it, I suppose when you're like when it's all done in pose, you don't really need to do anything about it. But like if you want to like really mess with the poses and go kind of crazy with it, you might need a bit of glue to hold some of the outer armor bits together. The inner frame is beautiful. I love how the inner frame is built and how it came together. I think that was really nice. But when it comes to like attaching the outer armor pieces, it's a pain because they just like do not hold on. They just like do not hold on. This definitely goes this way. Oh, I understand now how this snaps in. This snaps in here. But anyhow, I just remembered that I was talking about Fields of Mistria. Yeah. I've been having a crippling... You know what's really funny? My crippling addiction to Fields of Mistria has now also like coincided with my crippling addiction to House MD, which actually I don't think I mentioned because I took 2 weeks off. And this is very much an occurrence of the past 2 weeks that I got addicted to House MD, which is kind of goofy because I have never, like, I don't know why. I feel like everyone has watched House MD because it was a very popular show when it was coming out. But for whatever reason, I just dodged it. I think because at the time, I was really on my, embarrassing part of my life where I was an Anglophile. I was really into like Doctor Who and Sherlock and Downton Abbey, and I was like, yeah, I only like ignoring the fact that Hugh Laurie is literally a British man. Hey guys! Hello! Yeah. Ignoring the fact that Hugh Laurie is quite literally a British man. I did not know that at the time. Maybe I would have watched House MD if I knew that Hugh Laurie was British. But I didn't. And so I just like skipped House MD when it came out. And I've only ever, like, of course I know about it. I've like osmosis in approximate understanding of it just based off of like memes and people who like it. But I've never like watched it in earnest basically. And for whatever reason, like, I don't know why, I think I saw like a reference to it. Hello. I saw like a reference or like a clip of House MD in like something else. I saw like a clip of it in like a video I was watching at some point. I think that's what got me. Or like one of my friends put on like a clip of House MD because a bunch of my friends are really into it. And so I like, hi Fina! Thank you for watching! But I don't know man, I just decided, you know what? It's literally on Amazon Prime or whatever, it's Lupus. It's Lupus! I haven't gotten to the Lupus episode yet. Okay? I haven't gotten to the Lupus episode yet. I'm waiting, because there's been several episodes so far where someone suggests it being Lupus, but then it isn't Lupus. There's been a few close calls about Lupus. But I haven't hit that, like, it's actually Lupus this time, guys. It's to the point where it's kind of funny whenever someone suggests Lupus. It's like, well, of course it's not Lupus. You always think it's Lupus, but it's not. It's always something else. But I wonder. And I've actually been quite enjoying House MD. It's peak, like, I put it on in the background when I do things. Like, I would put it on in the background when I'm at work, because it's like the perfect kind of show where if I'm just listening to it, I can understand what's happening, and from time to time, there will be like a really tense moment that I'll like want to like actively pay attention to and watch. And so I do that, and it just like really works with my workflow, because I'm not someone that can like sit there and concentrate on just one thing primarily and like for an extended period of time. And so it just like kind of helps me regulate my attention span just when I put it on in the background when I try to do things. But it's pretty neat. And I'm already like almost done. I've only been watching it for like, honestly, like a week and a half at this point, and I'm already almost done with season 2. Like, I'm blowing through House MD, because it's just, like I said, if I'm doing something, I will simply put it on in the background. And I'm like, this is enhanced now. And it's a fun time. I've very much gotten to the point where I'm like, well, I know the formula. I understand the formula of like, someone has some crazy illness. Did I show you the Gundam I finally got? No, you didn't? Which Gundam is it? Can I guess? Is it Nobel or is it G Gundam? That would be my guess. It's either Nobel or G Gundam. I started building it a few weeks ago. Well, you should send it to me. I want to see it. I would like to see it. I love that you've gotten a Gundam. That's so nice. Master Grade Shining Gundam! Okay, that is a good one. I like Shining Gundam. Excellent choice. Oh shoot. Oh, I just dropped. I bumped my little. I really hope you guys see it. You're back, we can hang out and build. I 100% will. I don't know if I have mentioned this to you yet, but when I'm back next month. I moved back to Connecticut in December. It's got screws in it for some reason. I've discovered that with some of the older Master Grade. That's what happened with me when I built G Gundam. It had like screws in it. And I was like, what do you mean this kit has screws in it? Older Master Grades were on like another type of they were on something when they were making a lot of those older Master Grades. And I respect the hustle for like novel mechanics. But it was just like, what's happening? Why are there screws in my Gundam? But yeah, no, I had the same experience with MG G Gundam. I am coming back for the holidays, but I am also moving back to Connecticut. I am also moving back. Yeah. Some things have happened in my life, and that has expedited me moving back to Connecticut. And yeah, as of like December, I will return to being a Connecticutian, yeah. It'll be fun. I'm pretty excited. What? Yeah, I'm really glad. I'm looking forward to getting to hang out with you guys, like, actually more often, because I will be living there We can like actually do stuff. It'll be great. I don't know why. I didn't like I didn't super I don't know why. Like when I'm moving, like now that it's like been confirmed, like I have a moving day and I'm like packing that I'm moving back to Connecticut. I'm like I've never like really missed Connecticut a lot ever since I moved to New York. I like never really missed Connecticut that much. Obviously I miss my friends that live in Connecticut. Like I miss my friends that I'm not gonna say it on stream, but I will DM it to you because I don't want to dox myself. But I will let you know personally where I'm moving. But yeah, I am excited. I never really missed Connecticut a ton. Like obviously I missed the people in Connecticut that I'm personally connected to, but I never really missed Connecticut itself. Are you thinking of moving back out? For the time being, I kind of don't know. You know, dox yourself? I'm sorry. Because I've been planning on... It's been one of those things that just, like... I love New York, and I've really loved living in New York. And I wouldn't mind continuing to live in New York just because I like New York. But I'm also like, when it comes to my career and what I want to do with my life, it just makes a lot of sense for me to move to Connecticut because I just have... I know the exact date. My move is in the first week of December. I may also have to take that week off. Because I might be too busy moving that first weekend of December. But yeah, no, it still like it's kind of crazy to me, right, that I'm like actually moving back to Connecticut. Because obviously I've been back in Connecticut temporarily. I had to like during the pandemic, I had to move back with my family for a little while. But I don't know, man. I still like considered my residence to be New York. Which is kind of crazy. I think about it now. I've lived in New York for the past 7 years. Like even if we're counting the year and a half or so that I spent living back with my family during the pandemic, where I had no choice but to be back in Connecticut. But for the most part, like, aside from that, I moved to New York in 2017, and I've just been here ever since. Like, I went to college here, I graduated college here, I continued to work. I got my first, like, proper engineering job here. Did Shinji find the One Piece yet? Almost. Listen, I don't want to spoil Evangelion 4.0 plus 1.0, but, no, I mean, I'm kidding. Unless I'm not. It's only one way to find out. But as of right now, Shinji has not found the One Piece yet. At least, I won't tell you if he's found the One Piece yet. Where's the A runner? Here's the A runner. But I have almost found the One Piece to finish putting Shinji together. Say every anime is One Piece or Dragon Ball. I think it's funny. Yeah, every anime is One Piece or Dragon Ball. Two anime that I have never watched. Like, it's so... Luke from the Star Trek. Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, I did it all the time just to bother people. Where I was like, oh my god, Luke Skywalker? That's my favorite Star Trek character. I do like the Vulcan hello and be like, may the fourth be with you. Like, it was really funny. It was really, at the time, I still think it's kind of funny. And I would just wait and see how, and I think the funny part of it for me was seeing how many people, like, thought I was being serious. Because it was always, like, an absurd amount of people that I would do that to. That would think that I'm being, like, genuine. Even in college. My current one is who Boba Fett? Yeah. I would even do that. One of, like, a hobby of mine is I like mispronouncing words on purpose. Just because I think it's fun. I just think it's a fun way when I say, like, Arjet. It's just fun to mispronounce words on purpose. Like when I was taking differential calculus and we were learning L'Hôpital's room, I loved saying La Hospital. I know it's not pronounced La Hospital, but it's more fun to say La Hospital. And, like, without fail, so many people thought I was, like, being frail about it and try to correct me. And I'm like, you know, I don't even want to, like, this is funny. Like, I don't even know what to say, but it's, like, kind of entertaining at this point. I fully understand it. I fully do. Wants you to mispronounce Jife. I would love to. I would love to mispronounce Jife. That's exactly what that is. I would also, back when it was, like, very much in the zeitgeist, to be like, is it GIF or GIF? I also love to Jife, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad that we're on the same page here. I'm glad that we've mind melded. We're on the same page here. Yeah, and I would just propose, like, a ridiculous alternate version of it. Like Geef. Geef is also a good one. Geef. Does the order of this matter? Well, because it's not telling me to put, like, attach this in order, I'm going to assume that the order in which I put this together not matter. Unless it... No, it doesn't. I'm safe. We're good. I did it correctly. But yeah, I love mispronouncing words on purpose. It's very fun. It's a fun little hobby. Ava, but this... But I heard this would never happen if Shinji's dad was an ally. Yeah. I feel like that's true. None of this would have happened if Shinji's dad was an ally. Unfortunately, Shinji's dad is a homophobe and wants Shinji to kill his boyfriend. You know, maybe if Gendo Ikari was an ally, none of this would have happened. Thank you for this. I'm now, like, incorporating this into my lexicon. That's so funny. Yeah, none of this would have happened if Shinji's dad was an ally. Obviously. Okay. This goes like... Oh my... Never mind, I take everything. This is so cool. This... It does that. That's so cool that it does that. This goes in here. Oh my god, the little bean guy is coming together. It's all coming together. I also realized that there are... I totally forgot to clip these little nubs. There's nubs down here that I forgot to... And that's my bad. That's personally my bad. But he is in here. Oh, and this Oh my god, wait, the whole thing. Wait, that's cool. This is cool. Bean Shinji is so fun, actually. Bean Shinji, I love Bean Shinji. Okay, I take this. I need this piece. And then where'd that long guy go that I made? Where did that go? There it is. Here's this guy, the long guy that I made, which I will need. I need this guy. This guy goes like this. And then this guy. You're not gonna bully me into playing Warhammer because enough people in my life have already tried and they've failed. Unfortunately, my ADHD is too strong. I can be bullied into like building and painting minifigures. I will do that. I love making the little I love the model kit part of it. I think they're neat. I've like built and painted Warhammer minis before and I think it's fun. But every time I've tried to actually play the game, I have been miserable. Because it's just like it like takes so long. And it doesn't like activate that thing in my brain that makes me play it. So unfortunately, I don't think I will be a Warhammer fan. Because I've had people in my life try it before and it just did not work. Oh my, oh, wait, this is really cool. This is so cool, actually. I love this little kit. Every criticism that I had previously, deleted. I love this stupid little kit so much, actually. That's, I think, I do like Mecha. Okay, I do like Mecha. Might get me with that one, okay? Might get me with that one. Oh my god, we've done it! Oh shoot, little horn. Wait, pretend that I totally did not just break that. Pretend I totally did not just break that. That back here. Bean Shinji! Bean Shinji! Wait, it's done! That's the body. Now I just have to build Shinji. Bean Shinji has been built. Bean Shinji looks really cool. I love Bean Shinji. I think there's also a piece of it that I've forgotten to attach at some point. Or this might have been an extra. Something. No, that's all of it. I've done it. I've built Bean 01. Photography, 100%. We have to do photography together. I bought a new camera recently, actually. That I'm very happy about. I've been wanting like a little compact camera to keep in my purse. Yeah, you got a medium format? Yeah, you did. I've been wanting like a little camera, a compact film camera to keep in my purse. That's just like fixed lens, point and shoot, just go for it. And I've also been desperately hunting for a panoramic film camera. And it's very fun, it's really cute, it's convertible between regular and panoramic. I got it for $4. Mech shaped like me after Thanksgiving. Yeah, no, I love the little bean mech, it's so cute. And also, like, it's very poseable. This thing is like so poseable. Like, it's got the full 360. Tiny little, did you get one of those tiny little half frames? It's pretty small, but it's not that small. It's like this big. It's like a little camera. But it's fun. You'll see it when I bring it. The Lomagri fisheye cameras are fun. This camera I bought for $4 at a thrift store. It's great. And then this is also me after Thanksgiving, where this is me at Thanksgiving when I unhinge my jaw to expand when I unhinge my jaw at the end of dinner and it's time for pumpkin pie, and I have to expand into my second stomach that I have for pumpkin pie, which I do have a specific second stomach just for pumpkin pie. December through February is time for amazing. Okay. Yeah, these guys kind of have to come together as a unit or else there are problems that involve this little horn being broken up. There are still some pieces of it that I might want to repaint. Not repaint, glue. Oh, man. Oh, man. I have pain and suffering in my soul. I am going to be back for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be back for Thanksgiving. Because my family is in Connecticut. Oh god. Now it's even more annoying to get this back in here. Where's my computers? Where's my straight tweezers? Did I move them somewhere? I don't think I did. Here's my straight tweezers. Okay. Oh, now it's like a whole surgical operation. Oh my god, just like House. I'm just like committing surgery on my Gunpla. Fix its little scalp plate into place. After breaking it by accident. One of the things that I love about House MD is that, like, I truly know nothing about biology and medicine. I, like, did the bare minimum amount of biology when I was in high school. I think when I was in high school, not to, like, sound like that guy, but I was recommended into AP biology, and I chose not to take it because I don't like biology. And why would I subject myself to harder biology when I'm, like, truly never going to use this again? And obviously, I didn't take any biology in college. I went to engineering school. I had no reason to take biology, and so I never did. And so I'm like, yeah, I know, like, very little about biology. Out of, like, the main sciences, like physics, chem, bio, it is my least favorite. It is the one I know the least about. And so it's kind of funny. A lot of the time when I'm like watching, I'm really into like sci-fi and stuff like that. Whenever I watch stuff that uses like physics jargon or mechanics jargon and stuff like that, like I actually think about it, and I'm like, and I can more or less tell I wish to destroy flesh. Yeah, me too. I prefer machine over flesh. Yeah, I shall rule over my empire of steel. I reject flesh and embrace metal. That's why I went for engineering. And so I like know nothing about medicine, and so usually when I'm watching like a piece of media that like references physics or mechanics or like anything like that, I think about it and I kind of am cursed with knowledge in this. Well, also, by the way, now I'm gonna build Shinji, where he's unpainted and looks kind of crazy, but we're gonna build Shinji, and hopefully I will paint him at some point. So I should probably definitely put the cap on my X-Acto knife. Yeah. Eris Manus, yeah. But, what was I saying? Yeah. I always, like, think about, like, especially when it comes to, like, astronomy and space and stuff like that, I know enough about it that I'm like, I can't help but think if it's accurate or not. Like, I was literally sitting there when I was watching Avengers and evaluating, like, the technobabble that Tony Stark was saying, or, like, the physics jargon that Tony Stark was saying. I was like, oh, he's using, like, a real equation, but he's completely misunderstanding what it's actually meant for. And a fighter jet, so he hated Top Gun. That's so funny. But also real. Real and understandable, honestly. I don't think any of this is... That's so funny. Yeah, no, that's the other thing, is I'm like, I know too much about airplanes. I know too much about airplanes. I know too much about physics to, like, really enjoy some of these things. To just, like, purely enjoy some of these things, because I'm sometimes just too busy. Like, I can barely watch, like, space movies. Because I'm too busy thinking about, like, well, really, if someone were to escape the airlock like that, you know, the process of events that would really happen is not at all like this. But, so, the thing that I love about House MD is that I know nothing about medicine. And so they can just be saying things and I will believe it. I can just purely enjoy it for what it is. And I have a great time. I'm like, God. They can literally just say, like, oh my God, he bifurcated his left ventricle. That means he has cancer. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he has cancer. Because he bifurcated his left ventricle. Like, I don't know what these... I barely know what these words mean. I'm like, I'm just sitting there and having a good time. And so, it's very nice. It's not something I get to... It's something I don't always get to enjoy the feeling of. And so, that's part of why I've been really liking House MD, because I just get to purely enjoy it for what it is. It's not Lupus. Like, rookie mistake. Can't believe you thought it was Lupus. I'm like, shh, I can't believe you thought it was Lupus. The runner for Shinji is so insane, by the way. This is, like, the most second thought, like, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what they are doing and why it's made like this. Probably because this is intended to be painted, so they cut a lot of corners. Oh, I'm supposed to glue. I am supposed to glue, Shinji. Well, my glue is over there, so perhaps we're not going to finish Shinji today. But I do at least want to cut out all of these, so I have them ready for assembly. But I'm going to be painting. Yeah. Not Lupus. I can't wait till I get to the... I got to the episode where it was rabies. I liked the rabies episode. That one was fun. That it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe the big, like, revelation is that this woman has rabies. I also got to the one where someone had the plague. House is very much a show that it's like, this sure was from the 2000s. There's definitely a lot of it that just, like, did not age well. But that's, like, not the point of House. That's not the point of why we're watching House right now. Like, I just accept that House is going to be racist to foremen. That's just how it is, and the life that we're living right now. Like, there was an episode about 2000s was a time. like, the insane racism and fat phobia that I was like, oh my god, they can just say that on television? They can just say that on public television? What the heck are they doing? Here, but I will need to gloat for it to actually be secure. So, unfortunately for now, Shinji remains a lot of bits, but the bean is completely watching a 2000 show, literally seeing anything relating to the Middle East. Yeah, for real. I'm like, what's happening right now? Like, anything that relates to a culture that's not European is insane. It's, like, actually insane. Yeah, and it's just a war in Iraq commercial, yeah. I will also... So the bean looks a little plain now. That's because it's water slide, which I will also be doing later. I don't want to do water slides on stream because it will be embarrassing for me. I also love... Okay, wait. I'm going to move this so you guys can see it. But at the end of it, it says, congrats, let's put a decal. It says, congrats, let's put a congratulations! Congratulations, Shinji! Let's go! You did it! Congrats, Shinji! Yeah. They're literally telling me congratulations. Yeah, I have max fear of stickers. I feel like I could kind of do stickers, but water slides... Honestly, stickers too, because I've 100% been guilty of, like, messing up sticker placement and then unsticking it and then adding glue. Because I've already, like, unstuck the adhesive. Just like the meme. Just like, that's like an act, by the way, that it's like a real scene in Evangelion. Where everyone's like, yeah, congratulations, Shinji! Congratulations! Everyone congratulates Shinji on self-actualizing. That's the end of the show. It's great. I love Evangelion. But, it is also a meme that I think is funny. But, I love that this kit has water slides. Okay. My final thoughts on this kit is that it's a fun time. I have a bad overcorrecting habit. Me too. I get it. I 100% like overcorrect a lot. But with water slides, I mess up water slides a lot. Like, decal, soft, and set are my best friends. And I've like... at any of my kits that have water slides, just don't look too closely at them. I've 100% like broken water slides that I like try and piece back together. And if you look at it from a distance, you can't really tell. If you look at it closely, you can totally tell that I broke this water slide and tried to put it back together. Yeah, and make it worse panic fixing, 100%. That's me with water slides. That's usually how I end up breaking water slides, where I slightly mess up a placement, and then I panic, and then while I'm trying to fix it, I break the entire decal, and I'm like, what have I done? Which is why I don't want to do water slides on stream, because you guys will make fun of me, and it'll be bad. And I'll probably mess up more, because I'll be under pressure. But I do like water slides more aesthetically. Because they look better. And honestly, maybe it's also just I don't use stickers that often. Like, if a kit comes with stickers, I most of the time don't use them. But I think that's fine. But anyhow, my final thoughts on Shinji Bean is that it's a pretty fun kit. I had my gripes with it. You'd never make fun of me. I don't know why, but I do know why, but I don't believe you. But I would 100% be judged by model kit. Yeah, exactly. I know it's a lie. I was like, I do not believe you. I'm not exactly an expert water slide placer. Especially with like round shapes like this. when I do my, I was about to say Shin Megami Tensei. That is not the right word. My Megami device kits that are like the mecha girls that are like kind of odd shapes and like curved armors and stuff like that. I mess up so bad. I mess up so bad on those kits. And I know this kit is just entirely brown. And I know I'll mess up. And so I am anticipating. And so I don't want to expose myself. And so I shall not. No, I shall not. I'm gonna make fun of you for being afraid to do decals on stream. You actually can't win. I can't believe this. I literally can't win. But overall, I think this kit, we're gonna zoom out. Cool. I think this kit is really fun and cute. The frame is really nice. It's very fun. It's very posable. Except I'm totally gonna glue that. I'm totally gonna end up gluing this piece. I'm taking it out now, and I'm not gonna put it back now because I'm gonna glue that. But ignoring that, besides that, I think it's really fun. I think it's very fun. It's very posable. I like the little claw hands. The legs are also like, wow, you can do a lot with this. Do the decals, coward. I'm not going to. One, I did not prepare for it. I would have to go get all of my like materials for it, and I don't want to do that. But also, I am afraid. What we can do, actually, is I'll start cutting out some of the decals. That's what I'll do right now, is I'll just start cutting them out. Let's put a decal. Is there like a... I'm gonna get these things off. I'm gonna check and see if there's like a decal guide. Did they give me a decal guide? They did give me a decal guide. Let's go! They did give me a decal guide. Yeah, I'm just gonna start cutting out some of the decals. That's what I will do. But I won't apply them yet. I will begin the decals process, but I will not finish the decals process. If I can find where I put my knife. Don't worry, it's capped. I'm not gonna stab myself. But where's my... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm gonna start flipping out the decals because they're fun. And I think it'll look... I love like how it's gonna look with decals. I think it's really cool, and I'm glad that they like decided to make this water slides, which I like super was not expecting for a kit like this. I'm very happy because I think I like, even though I like struggle with water slides so much, I like the look of them way more than stickers. I just think water slides look way better. And this is... I'll cut out this middle one. I'll keep some of the numbers intact, but not all of them. I don't need all of the numbers, but I will need some of the numbers. I'm a little stupid when it comes to... But overall, I had a lot of fun. I will say, it's like deceptively simple. Like the frame part, it was actually like a little bit complicated, and I was like, oh. But not like, that's not a criticism. And like, it looks like such a simple shape, you don't expect there to be like a whole inner frame aspect of it. But I'm glad that there is. It looks really good. And it came out really nice. I'm quite happy with it. And so I'm a big fan of this kit. I do have another one that I do want to build. I also have Ray from this line too, but I don't think I'll do her on stream because I think I looked at, like, I've opened the box and I've looked at the runners and they are basically the same as this kit. They're like basically the same. I really don't think we're missing much. I don't think we'll be missing much if I don't do Ray on stream. Honestly, it'll just be the same kit, but it's yellow this time instead of Unit 01 purple. And so, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I am pleasantly surprised that there's water slides, and it's like deceptively simple, but in like a fun way. It's definitely a very different experience from Gunpla. And even from like the Kotobukiya kits that I've built, because I've done some. I've done Megami Device. I've done one of the other like mechs from the Kotobukiya line of model kit. But this feels also distinct from the Kotobukiya kits too, which I think is pretty fun and neat. It's a unique build that honestly I would experience. It's just like fun. It's cute. It's not insanely complicated, but it's more complicated than you think it's going to be just by looking at this, like, funky little bean. And you're like, it's a little bean. How hard can it be? I would put this above, like, a high grade. I think I would put this above a high grade. And if I had to use, like, Gundam terms, I would put this above a high grade. But I would still, like... Wow, there's even, like, eye decal. Crazy. I'm kind of gonna have to take this guy apart a little bit in order to do the decals. Yeah, so that's painted, actually. The inside of these little guys, like these little vents over here, that's painted. Not decal, so I will have to paint that. It's a little annoying, but, like, whatever, I guess. Whatever, I guess. I love that he's got little tail lights. You kind of can't see it too much with the camera and how the light reflects off of it, but I love that he's got little tail lights. But yeah, there's like a good amount of attention to detail on this. There's a lot of movability, a lot of posability, a lot of like moving parts actually. Like you can open up the whole thing, the whole little cockpit comes out. Like I think that's so fun and cute. Where do we? Oh. They go on the leg. For now, I'm just gonna cut out this whole entity because they're just for the leg. And some of them are like repeats, and I don't super need them. I don't know if I think I'll do most of the decals. I think the decals are really fun. I think the decals. Where does a pin go? Oh, those are on. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I'm very much alike. I don't know. I don't like following instructions a lot, in case you couldn't tell. I don't always like following instructions. I kind of just like doing my own thing a lot of the time. And 16, these guys are both for the horn. And then the little caution panel, which is really fun. I love the little caution. Where's 20? Where does 20 go? 20 or 21, I can pick. Energy or caution. That's fun. I like that I have the illusion of choice. It's not an illusion. I actually do have a choice by which one I want to put on that pin, which is fun. And then these guys are for Shinji. And these are for the eyeballs. Love that there's an extra. I love when they include extras and just assume that you might mess up. It's kind of rough because Kotobukiya doesn't do that for me. Usually Kotobukiya is like, they only give you one copy of each decal, and if you mess it up, you're just toasted. Like, that's it. And I'm like, please, have mercy on me. I'm dying. Use what I'm painting. Oh, that's if I paint it. Oh, that's for if I paint it. I might paint that, actually. I could also just paint that panel black. Or I could do it as a decal, which is fun. I like that I have the option. But I've snipped out the decals that I will probably be using. And I will be doing them on my own time. Even if you bully me to try and do them on stream, I don't want to. Okay. We're gonna put Mr. Bean back in frame. I still haven't decided what kit I want to do after this. This is supposed to be like my fun, easy, light kit. So after this, I'm probably gonna get into like more of a complex gunpla, like a real grade or a master grade. I still haven't totally decided what I'm doing after this, but I'm leaning on Epion. I have an MG Epion that I love dearly, and I might do that. I might also do one of my real grades, but I also want to do Epion. So we'll see what I'm feeling next week. I'm gonna wrap up just a few minutes early. Kind of busy today. The whole moving thing. I have a month, and so I'm probably going to be moving like piece by piece, because luckily Connecticut is not that far. It's not like I gotta move across the country. Like I have the luxury of like slowly moving things there, especially since it's not like a place that I'm renting, like a fixture, and I basically have the luxury of moving piece by piece, and so I will be doing that. And I will not lie to you, part of my motivation is also I really want to go play Fields of Music right now. And also watch House MD. I want to do both of these things. It's really bad. But either this weekend or during the week I'll be doing my decals. I'll be doing up Mr. Unit 01. Well, I guess Mrs. Unit 01. Technically, Mrs. Unit 01. Anyhow, thank you all for tuning in and watching me complete MechatroWeGo Unit 01. It's a really fun build. I would recommend it. Mechatro is really neat. They're fun little kits that are actually quite unique from like Gunpla or Kotobukiya experience, like model kits. And yeah, I will probably build Ray on my own time. My hunch is that it's going to be exactly the same because it looks exactly the same. But if there is like a radical difference, I will report back. But yeah. Anyhow, thank you all for tuning in as always, and patiently awaiting my 2 weeks off. Well, I took 2 weeks off for various things, but I will once again be regularly streaming for the foreseeable future, minus probably the first week of December, because that's when I'm like moving. And I will probably be really busy, and my setup will probably not be put together yet. Because it's literally when I move. So, thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend on this beautiful autumnal day. Bye-bye!